Okay, welcome back to my podcast on the future of business and technology. I'm Bernard Ma, your host. Today, I'm joined by XD Huang, who is the Chief Technology Officer at Zoom. As Zoom evolves beyond video conferencing into an AI powered productivity hub, they are pioneering Agentic AI, systems that can reason, plan, and act autonomously to solve workplace challenges. From specialized language models to their open source approach, Zoom is reimagining workplace collaboration. We will explore how Zoom is using Agentic AI to eliminate busy work, enhance creativity, and transform how we work in ways that might surprise you. XD, welcome to the show.
Great to be here, Bernard.
It's so lovely to have you with us. Where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Menlo Park, California.
Excellent. So, Agentic AI is positioned as the next big evolution beyond traditional generative AI. How does Zoom define Agentic AI?
So I really think agentic AI is the evolution. Software has been maturing, and the intelligence has been the dream for many generations. When I work at Microsoft, Bill Gates is a huge fan of agent. So that dream has been ongoing for many, many years. Finally, with the evolution of generative AI, large language model, the capability reached the stage that this is the beginning of the application of agentic AI. Agentic AI, with our definition, that should have four major characteristics. Number one, it should have the amazing reasoning capability. From the large language model today, we have seen the reasoning contextual information can be all taken into account to come up with something that's reasonable, that will help you, can be personalized. The second thing is we need to really add a long-term memory. Any project or task is going to evolve with not just a few hours of work, but a few weeks of work or even a month's work. So then memory is really one of the indication of intelligence. The third thing is really, it should be proactive and autonomous. And if you have a system that's always passive, I'm sure you'll be tired of it very soon, right? So the ability to autonomously identify the opportunity and the context and the task to help you to execute, of course, with your consent, will be essentially very important. Last but not least is a complex task usually requires multiple steps, multiple agents. We need to really have the ability to orchestrate all of them together to complete the task. That is beyond just a few minutes of work. So those four things really defined what agentic AI should be. And today, there are many different definitions. Some of them are very simple, and they just want to catch the, bandwagon. And that's fine, understandable, because this is really probably the hardest trend. Because that, if you can really fulfill this, the software is going to be very different from what we used to know, right? That's always passive, very simple. You have to follow exact steps to really execute.
Yeah, so Agentic AI is a complete game changer. What are the challenges, the biggest challenges in developing and deploying Agentic AIs at scale? And how is Zoom overcoming some of those challenges?
So Zoom is really transforming from a video conferencing company that is well known in every country to AI first productivity company. If you think about the productivity, the most important function is most likely meeting. Right now we're having a meeting, and anything important, most people will probably talk in the meeting, either in person or on Zoom. So this is really the entry point. We believe that when we bring AI companion into the meeting, AI companion can serve as your chief of staff. That is the beginning of helping you complete the task. So the soundbite I want to offer you is we are transforming from meeting to milestone. The reason we're having a meeting is we want to achieve our next milestone, whether it's, a college application for a high school student or the executive to prepare the next important customer meeting. There's always a milestone in mind. That's why we're having a meeting. Of course, we have fun to meet in person. That's fine. The milestone is we make everyone happier. Then we need to really think about what is the next step we need to follow up to bring everyone happier, right? So from conversation to completion is a soundbite I want to offer. That's exactly how Zoom is extremely well positioned to help people achieve what they want to achieve for the next milestone. And from the conversation we have in the meeting, we can help them to complete the task they need to pay attention to. So this is what I define as action-oriented information flow. From the meeting, the task information will flow into every corner of the life cycle of the project. So just imagine a scenario. We talked about something in the meeting. AI companion can capture that, identify the follow-up tasks, next steps. When you meet with another person in another meeting, that information will be memorized. That's why I said memory is very important. It's not short-term memory. And we'll connect dots on your behalf. That's why reasoning is important. And if you need to really pull the data from multiple databases, AI companion can orchestrate that to pull the data, truly realize the vision, to have information at your fingertips without you asking. So those four things will really completely change how we engage, how we benefit from productivity.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I actually had lunch today with a colleague, and he was talking about how much Zoom has improved in its ability to summarize meeting notes and all of this. So it's pretty amazing and how fast this is all developing. And we are seeing this now from simple automation to generative models, and now to truly agentic AI systems that can reason, plan, and act autonomously. How is Zoom leveraging this shift, and what excites you most about the potential of it?
So Zoom launched AI Companion is truly the agentic realization in my mind. And let me give you a few examples what we can do today. After a meeting, if we invited AI Companion, we turn on AI Companion will provide meeting minutes. That meeting minutes will not just a simple summarization of what was discussed. AI Companion will reason based on the context on this, and the AI Companion understood, assign the task to the people who need to follow up. And today, you would most likely receive a meeting summary with the next steps. Tomorrow, those next steps with reasoning will bring the execution on your behalf. So you can easily follow up without really tracking that yourself. Another example is deeply associated with meeting. You need to manage your calendar. I want to give you a personal example of what is already in production internally. I received a piece of email. I need to meet with 3 people. And that was the name, but without a slot. I can just ask AI Companion, schedule meeting with my opening slot. AI Companion will just do that on my behalf. 3 people scheduled with my simple instruction. That's agentic, very much like the executive as administrator. So the reason we can do this is we have the ability to reason based on the natural language. You receive a piece of email, you see there are 3 people that you want to meet with. It's kind of interview, and the AI Companion understood. That's my intent. AI Companion got the access of my calendar, just get work done.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So you envisage Zoom to be your personal assistant almost, and your researcher to some extent as well. I guess this only works in virtual meetings, or do you see this happening in actual face-to-face meetings too?
With the prototype we have in production, I attended one of the customer advisory board meeting. There were like 70 people in the room. And I just turned on AI Companion, left my iPhone on the table. And it was like, after the meeting, I got the meeting minutes, the same as I got like a virtual meeting. So Zoom stepped out of the video conferencing arena, brought the AI Companion to every corner, including in-person meeting, including Zoom Workplace. You have a ChatGPT-like interface on the right. You can ask anything. A personal story I want to share with you is I reflect with my performance with my boss, Eric Yuan, and I asked AI Companion, why don't just write my performance review? AI Companion did that on my behalf because every meeting I have internally, I got the AI Companion turned on. I have all the record of the meeting. I have all the chat, email that AI Companion can access. AI Companion can also access all the documents I created. So that is the knowledge work I have. All the decisions I made, all the recommendation I had is amazing. AI Companion, I would say, fulfilled 80% of the task. I made a few changes, but 80% the task for my performance review was accomplished with a simple instruction. If
Yeah.
that's not agentic, what else is agentic?
Mm. Now this is pretty amazing. Yeah, exciting times. Zoom recently developed a 2 billion parameter small language model, or SLM. We've heard a lot about large language models. Why do you believe that specialized or small language models are better suited for workplace AI compared to the general purpose large language models?
So the analogy I would say is like we have encyclopedia that it got everything, but we also have specialty. We go very deep. The society needs both. There's a T-shaped knowledge. The horizontal knowledge that is very, very broad, and also the specialty that can go very, very deep. Maybe one day you will have a square that can be both broad and deep. So at this point, I believe that you want to have a square, you need to substantially increase the cost. So by going deep, we believe we can have a cost-effective solution that is going to be world-class. So what we have done is that we limited ourselves to 2 billion parameters with the goal to really approach amazing performance. I'm proud that the Zoom AI team really pushed hard on the envelope in the last 2 years. The quality of this 2 billion small language model, the performance on the general benchmark is as good as the large language model that was 2 years ago. Let's think about that for a moment. On the public benchmark, of course, we have achieved the best performance in the public benchmark in comparison to Microsoft small language model, in comparison to Google small language model, in comparison to the Chinese DeepSeek small language model and Alibaba Queen. In that 2 billion parameter category, in every benchmark, Zoom AI delivered the state of the art. And this performance is really impressive. But if you compare this to the best large language model today, it's still not as good. But it's as good as the large language model 2 or 3 years ago. So this is, the state of the art on the category. But the best story doesn't stop there. If we take this small language model that is world class, you customize for a special task, then the performance is approaching the best of today's large language model. That means with 1/10 or 1% of the computing cost, if you just need to do a specialized small agent, you can have this small language model packaged together with your agent, working together with your large language model that can orchestrate multiple agents to offer unmatched cost effectiveness. That's what Zoom is really leading the whole industry in pioneering the federated AI to orchestrate both a small language model and a large language model from OpenAI and Anthropic seamlessly together to offer this unmatched quality and reasonable cost. The large language model will not go away, will be still here because the broader context reasoning, this is what I said, the T-shaped go-to-market.
This is super interesting. And I would love you to give us some examples of what sort of deep expertise you have trained into your small language model. So what types of things have you helped it to learn?
So a very familiar example is translation that has been around with Google Translate, Microsoft Translate. This is a task that is very familiar. So we took the small language model, we just customized for the translation workload, and turned out they outperformed Microsoft, Google, and OpenAI on the translation workload itself with 2 billion parameters. So this is actually in production workplace already. Because when you want to translate, we understand the context constraint. We just, instead of using OpenAI GPT-4 or Anthropic Cloud 3.7, which is far more expensive, we can just activate this 2 billion Zoom small language model, perform the task that's essentially better than anyone else. It's highly specialized. If you want to use this translation small language model for anything else, it doesn't work. So if you want to deal with scheduling task, that is what I talked about. Your instruction is about the scheduling. You need to really understand the parameter, all the details. You can create a scheduling specific small language model. And then that can be performed and executed accordingly. So in the future, I believe that there will be, everyone will probably have a number of agents, maybe 10 or 20. Each agent can be equipped with a small language model that's optimized for that agent. And the large language model will bring those small language models working together, orchestrate them seamlessly. So that is the vision. And it's an exciting journey because each one, highly specialized, can really perform a good job.
Very good. And you hope that the Zoom AI will be one of those key agentic models that will be part of that.
Yeah, we are delivering the custom AI companion that will bring third-party and first-party agentic capability all together. And we're also offering Zoom AI Studio that can enable third-party to really bring new capability to customize Zoom AI companion so they can be more productive, more customized.
Fascinating. And Zoom has openly discussed its use of open source AI. What advantages does open source AI bring to Zoom and its customers?
We love both closed source and open source. Like OpenAI, Anthropic, they offer closed source model. They are outstanding. We also love open source model from Meta and other companies. And so we take the open source model, we learn from them, we customize accordingly to suit our needs. So when Zoom launched AI Companion in 23, federated AI is one of the biggest bets we had. And at that time, we used the open source small language model to do the first pass reasoning. Then we create another model to evaluate if they are good or not. If they are not good enough, then we go to get the more advanced large language model in the cloud together with small language model to produce meeting summary. That one offered, amazing cost reduction and outstanding performance than the best large language model out there. So you can think that was inference time reasoning already, because we first perform the small language model on the test. We have the output, we have the evaluation, we reason based on the partial result. Then we decide if we need to bring in large language model to refine what we have. That was shipped as part of AI Companion 1.0 since 23. So that federation capability is getting augmented with our latest small language model breakthrough. Will benefit from both open source and the closed source.
Very good. So, getting the best of both worlds. You're looking at combining open source with closed source. Amazing.
Yeah.
Looking ahead then, how does Zoom envision AI agents transforming workplace collaboration over the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
So this comes back to my soundbite, and it's going to be from meeting to milestone. Your milestone can be far more advanced because productivity, you can be more ambitious. And it's once again from conversation to completion, your dream. And the conversation is the human nature. That is not going to change. We're still going to converse and we're still going to speak, right? And but the milestone and the completion, the bar will be much, much higher than what we have today. That is going to be empowered by the technology, very much like the first industrial revolution. Steam engine, open up the society, increase the productivity.
So can you give me maybe 1 or 2 scenarios of what this might look like in practice?
So the scenario I can envision is we still love interaction with people. We still want to meet, whether it's in person or online, remotely like this. Between California and England, we can really connect people seamlessly. And AI Companion is part of that journey. Will actually really understand the need and help us to define the milestone that we need to really achieve. And in that whole life cycle, if I need to respond to you or connect with other people, the draft will be ready for me to review. And if I don't need to really focus on the mundane, repetitive work. My idea is expressed in the meeting when I'm engaged with you, right? That creative idea will be expanded with all the information from the meeting, from the web, from all the resources. So AI Companion will actually go out to do research 24/7 to monitor everything related to what we talked about, and they come back with the recommendation or action that I need to take. But I'm always in the loop to have control and to guide AI Companion to get the work done. That's why the milestone, the completion will be substantially different. Imagine, Bernard, you will have 100 people working on your behalf. After this meeting, they will actually analyze what we talked about and go out to really do research, collect information, and come up back with the best recommendation possible. So the whole society's productivity is going to be truly amplified, not just by steam engine, but by the knowledge and the power.
Yeah, this is fascinating. I can see so many different applications of it and in so many specific industry verticals as well. In one of my books, I talk about the future in different industries, and healthcare just came to mind when you were talking, because the scenario I was painting in my book was actually you could have almost an AI sitting between a doctor and the patient. And if you then have a tool like Zoom that sits in between, that could bridge the gap and help the doctor understand more about your background and the patient then understand what the condition might mean. That is the level of productivity and improvement it could drive in industry verticals as well, right?
Yes. And Zoom is offering this capability. In the US, Zoom offered almost like 1/3 of the telemedicine traffic in the country. So 1/3 of doctor-patient telemedicine is powered by Zoom platform. So we
Yeah.
had AI companion capability to help physicians and doctors to be more productive. This is also the market.
Yeah, truly fascinating and exciting. Um, what are the biggest productivity challenges that Zoom aims to solve with agentic AI, and how do you see this transforming the modern workday?
I I really think that the biggest challenge is people need to feel comfortable, and Zoom takes AI safety and privacy very seriously. We need to really make sure that people are willing to share the information, the memory, and the habit with AI companion. That's why we offer the customer AI companion. Zoom doesn't take the meeting data to train the AI at all. That's our promise. And we offer the customer AI companion to the enterprise so they can use the data they have to customize. That customized AI companion is going to be unique to the enterprise themselves, not getting out of the enterprise firewall. So what we are offering customer AI companion is going to be a game changer that will really take the data the enterprise offer, customize, improve the experience. Eventually, this will evolve into personal AI companion, in my opinion. We're not there yet. Because if you work with your chief of staff, usually it takes 6 months for the chief of staff to get up to speed. This is how long it takes for a human to get to know your working style, contact, the priority, etc. AI companies just like that will take time to get used to know your need, but this is coming. This is part of the agentic AI journey that we are going to offer. The society might take a little bit longer, very much like when automobile was invented. I believe London had a policy requiring automobile not to drive as fast as horses. So that is going to be a change for all of us, how to take advantage of AI companion capability and share the data, amplify our own needs and productivity.
Very good. So you earlier touched on the fact that the human is always in the loop. But how do you balance this AI-driven automation with the human touch when it comes to collaboration?
So this is exactly what I just talked about. We need to have personal AI companion. AI companion to learn your way of doing business, how much you want to control, and for under your prioritization. Any task requires your approval. Your chief of staff in the first month may not know, but over time, your chief of staff will get used to that, will actually make a good decision. That is the journey between the human and AI working together.
Yeah, good. Your career has been impressive, spanned decades of AI innovation from Microsoft to now leading AI strategy at Zoom. What lessons from your past work are influencing Zoom's federated approach to AI?
So I was educated in Scotland, and I did my PhD from the University of Edinburgh. And then I followed the footsteps of Jeff Hinton and worked at the Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. So that really laid a solid foundation for me to pursue AI. I spent 30 years in Microsoft. I understand the industrial impact. Bill Gates is a huge fan of AI agent, and that also deeply influenced me. So I spent 30 years in one company, Microsoft. So that is a just amazing journey for me. And I worked on almost every part of the company, I worked in research. I worked in Windows. I worked in Azure AI. I was the leading Azure AI CTO in responsible to all the AI services Microsoft offered. So that helped to enable Copilot and all the modern AI services Microsoft offers. So I believe that Zoom is unique. It's a verb that a small number of companies, really had the privilege to have. No matter where you go, Zoom is a verb that people know, just like Google and Xerox. The productivity agentic AI will start from meeting to milestone, from conversation to completion. So that's a very, very high aspiration. I believe I have a deep understanding of the whole stack, from the low-level AI processing to the workflow and the task flow. We can actually really connect dots from the bottom to the top, fulfill that dream. This is the rare opportunity all of us have. This agentic AI revolution is coming. So I'm very excited to see we have the opportunity to deliver this unmatched experience to delight productivity for everyone.
Yeah, amazing. We talked a lot about how AI is being introduced into Zoom's products and services, but in what way does Zoom itself benefit from AI technology?
Within Zoom, every meeting is enabled by AI companion, at least for the meeting I attend. If there's a heated debate, we often rely on AI companion to summarize the conflict, and the AI company help us to align better. Because AI company is not emotional. When you have multiple people debating in the meeting, AI company has a cool head, really can come up with something reasonable. And when we actually read the AI company summary, we suddenly realize we sometimes violently arguing on the same thing. So it's just amazing to see that ability to bridge the gap, enhance the meeting experience by itself. Or perhaps because AI company is watching, everyone is behaving better. I don't know, but I feel that when AI company is part of the experience, the whole meeting is fun. Not to mention, after the meeting, you have a powerful meeting minutes. That's usually at this point 80 to 85% accurate. That is sometimes that 10% inaccuracy often also will lead to something out of box thinking for me personally. So I take that human in the loop correction as a learning lesson myself, and take every opportunity, not just label that to improve AI, but also to think out of the box on our whole decision process.
Interesting. So Zoom is often at the center of conversations around the future of work. So how do you see AI redefining workplace communication and collaboration in ways that might surprise people?
Um, so Zoom is not just about communication. We have Zoom meeting services. We have Zoom chat. Those are related to communication. We also have powerful Zoom docs. That's fully AI first, AI enabled. So the workflow for me usually is after the meeting, I got the meeting minutes, I got the action item. If I need to write up something, write up a blog, that information flows into Zoom Docs. Zoom Docs will draft on my behalf. And so that is a virtual cycle. From the docs, I can interact with it. I can revise it with the help of AI companion. Then I can present it back into the next meeting. And so all those information is all facilitated by AI, whether it's composing. So there are really two important human activities. One is consuming information, right? We have limited time. We have a lot of documents. We need to summarize. So when I open the Zoom Docs, I ask AI companion to summarize on my behalf. So I can consume information more reliably. 20-page Zoom document, I can really just understand that quickly. If I have any doubt, I can interactively ask the AI companion what it is I need to understand differently. So the second one is to compose. To really influence people, we need to meet with people in person, or meet on Zoom, or write a piece of email, or write a document. So AI companion is really enable me to help to connect with people. Sometimes when I actually compose, I ask AI companion, because AI companion got the information for both the web and the work and all the chat I have. AI company help me to write a better email than what I can write myself, because AI companion analyze all the interaction I have, analyze the response from the person I need to interact with. So that is the soft power AI company can bring, in addition to really just to save me time to compose a draft. AI companion understands the dynamics, the emotional conflicts potential we have, and can draft this better to even actually to think about areas that I have not thought about.
Fascinating. You paint an inspiring and exciting picture about what agentic AI is able to do, and definitely how it's going to transform the future of work. So thank you very much for your time today, XD.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And for anyone who ever wants to rewatch this conversation or hundreds of other conversations about the future of business and technology, simply head to any podcast platform or my YouTube channel. Thank you.
Okay.